Hi everyone and welcome to Dragon Trail. So where we are, we're at Dragon Trail Seaside, and the reason for coming here is just to discuss what this car's like. You can see the pickup in the speed and a little bit of that first before you go through the build with me, and then we can have a quick chat about, you know, what's it like at Sardegna. So the first thing is, what are you like at driving and what kind of tyres are you best suited to, because that is going to make the difference in this build for you. So for me, I'm good with the racing softs. Some people can't make those last, whereas other people can. So if you know how to turn in and not make those tyres squeal and scrub around, they're the ones for you. Failing that, you want mediums or hards. And what you want to do then, fuel map 6, and nice and simple really, is just, it'll get you 6 laps. So you are going to need to pit twice, but you are going to end up with a win, and you are going to end up lapping majority, if not all, of the competition. Now, as you can see, I'm coming around here, and I've been to this track for a very long time, but you can see that the car's handling everything that you're throwing at it. Again, very nimble, very light, and very, very powerful. So, just running through these gears, it is just, you know, it's very controlled, happy, you know, to turn in, and that power is definitely there. Now when you're in fuel map 6, you can control an awful lot more of that, because you haven't got so much high-end power, because obviously the fuel map's reduced, so that means overall the power output's a little bit down as well. So it's the first 800 pp car that I've thrown around this track. You can see there at 134.5, so not bad. I've not been here for a long time. But what we'll do now is we'll get straight into the build. You can enjoy it, and then what you can do is you can tell me how it's gone for you, and that's another 800 pp car that you've got ready to go at Sardegna. So where we are, the first stop we've made is the tuning shop. Now a lot of these parts are already purchased, and this is just a case of double checking and making sure you have everything that you need just in case. So under sports you don't need anything at all, because let's be honest, this car deserves so much more. So club sports, you're not going to need anything from there, because again, this car demands so much more than that. Semi-racing, just make sure you have these parts just in case. So fully customizable computer, a high RPM turbocharger, and a fully customizable LSD. Under racing, make sure you have a racing silencer, racing brake kit, brake balance controller, a fully customizable suspension, fully customizable racing transmission, and a set of racing hard tyres, and I'd also get a set of racing soft tyres as well, depending on where you go to race. If you feel like you want a happy medium, well there you go, get the medium tyres. But I've gone for these because they're the ones that are offering the best grip and durability for the build that I've produced. Under extreme, get a set of intermediates, because we all know the weather throws up some curveballs on these 800 pp races. And under ultimate, you don't need to worry, because there's nothing you can get from there. Now before I do head over to car customization at GT Auto, there's a quick stop we need to make first, and it is under car maintenance. So let's just head there now. So the reason I've come to car maintenance first is this button here, oil change. Now throughout the time of racing this car and enjoying this car, you will need to do an oil change, and it's very important that you do it, because if you don't, the car starts to lack power, and that is down to you to make sure you are looking after your cars. So not just this one, any build, if it starts coming up that needs an oil change, just get it done straight away. There's no point dilly-dallying around, just get it done quickly and move on. Otherwise it's going to start costing you long term. It will start leaving you to make the decision of doing an engine overhaul. So for the sake of 400 credits, do you really want to have to start paying 100,000 if you leave it? It's one of those options that you need to start thinking about quickly with this build. So make sure that's the one that you're going to start doing from now on, and try and get in the habit of doing it with all the builds that come up for 800 pp. So what we'll do is just go to car customization like I said, and under there there's not a lot you can do really. I'll be honest with you, you can change the wheels, you can pick a paint colour for when you do a livery editor, and if you're like me and you wanted to go for something, I went for the late great Ken Block. I used to have a pair of DC shoes that looked exactly like this livery, and that's it. I went to Lodestar and I found that there. I've given it a like, added it to my collection, and I've supported the livery designer. But now what we'll do is we'll go back to the garage, we'll get that tuning sheet and we'll get this thing dialed in. So where we are at the tuning sheet, and you can see it is for the 800 pp, the World Touring Car Championship 800 pp, and you can see that's all of it there. So there's no issue with any track because this is suitable for all tracks. It's been tried and tested at them all and it performs each and every time. So as long as you keep it on the black stuff and you don't keep spinning off and crashing and whatever else, you'll get a win. It's pretty set there. So getting into this one, I went for racing soft tyres. Now the reason I said get both hard and soft is because the soft tyres, they're going to give you more grip, they won't last as long, but the fuel consumption of this car means that you will max those tyres out. Now if you're not confident in the way you drive or the way you can handle tyre degradation, then I would recommend going for a different type of compound, maybe a medium, maybe the hard tyre, but I went for the soft. All you got to do really is make sure you don't turn in so tight into the corners, and make sure that when you're putting your foot down, obviously just bear in mind that the harder you put your foot down coming out of a corner, the more it's going to scrub those tyres. So if you really don't want to be worrying or troubled about that, just chuck a set of mediums on, even some hard tyres, and you don't need to worry about that at all. They're far more durable, they just don't have as much grip, so that's the only difference there. Now getting into it, racing soft tyres, what I went for, front 62 and the rear 75 on your body height adjustment, your anti-roll bar 8 at the front and 10 at the rear, dampen ratio compression 32 at the front and 36 at the rear, the dampen ratio expansion 43 at the front and 46 at the rear, natural frequency 4.45 at the front and 4.75 at the rear, and your negative camber angle 2.5 front and rear. Your toe angle, I went for a toe out of 0.05 at the front and 0.15 in at the rear, and the initial torque I've gone for 9, acceleration sensitivity 15 and braking sensitivity 18. So you can fine tune this a little bit more if you feel it's not suited to your driving style. Obviously if you feel it's too quick out the corners and things, then just reduce your acceleration sensitivity. If you want it to brake a bit more at the rear, then by all means increase this. But this is the best balance I found for me personally. Obviously people have their own opinions and want to make little changes, and that's fine. So aerodynamics, so front 450 and the rear 700. Your ECU, keep that at 100%. Now your transmission, you want 270 on the top speed, and the manual adjustments make these changes. You want first gear 2.860, second gear 2.126, third gear 1.654, fourth gear 1.340, fifth gear 1.125, and sixth gear 0.980, and that's a final drive of 3.266. This thing revs just over 7,000 RPM, so it's no slouch. Definitely at places like Sardegna, it picks up so quick, and you know, by mid to late lap 3 you're going to be in the lead quite easily. So moving on, you can see turbocharger that's installed, anti-lag system set to strong, handbrake as normal. Now I've got my brake balance set to 3, so it's more towards the rear, and that's just obviously with this car being rear wheel drive, but it's so balanced and poised. You know, as long as you're careful in the way you enter and exit a corner with the throttle as well, you know, you'd think it was a 4-wheel drive car. And that's it. You can see there's nothing that could really be added into it other than what we've gone through. So there you go, an 800 pp tune for the Supra GT500 from 1997. And like I say, a true icon brought to us in Gran Turismo 3. And fingers crossed it stays with us in every rendition moving forward. But for now, go and enjoy this one. Leave me a note in the comments of how you got on, what do you think, and I'll see you in the next video.